the two that we talked about, Dickinson and Nance in center court. Antsy to jump it, and off we go.
The old slow play.
Yeah, there was a slow play, and Northwestern controlling the tap. You mentioned Northwestern, their last game at Purdue, lost 80-60 Sunday at West Lafayette. It's been quite a stretch they played. Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Purdue, now Michigan.
3 straight top 10 teams, and it's been a gauntlet. Everybody sees it throughout the year, but right now it's Northwestern's turn, and it does ease up from here, but a tough one against a team in Michigan that's playing good basketball.
Nance fading away off the mark, short with his first effort.
Moussa DeVante staying locked in, avoiding those head fakes, staying down, and playing good defense first possession of the game.
So again, Michigan, they beat Maryland by 19. They followed that up by winning against Indiana, 18 points in Bloomington. Best two-game stretch they've had this season to get to 3-3 in league play. Here is Moussa DeVante. Barron with a good block. Now he's falling out of bounds zone. He throws it back to Michigan. Houston knocks it down. All net, but they say his foot was on the line.
If this Caleb Houston needs any help right now, he has been on fire the last 2 games. Robbie Barron making a good defensive play. Nobody helping him. He's falling out of bounds. Should have just fallen out of bounds with the ball. Ends up giving Caleb Houston a wide open look to start the game.
You said it, Rob. On fire. 8 of 11, the last 2 for Houston. And prior to that, he was 2 of his previous 21. He had really been struggling, but he's finding his stroke. Shot clock dwindling. Audy, shot fake, has to put it up, and it's short. They are going to review that last bucket by Houston at the next stop to see if it was a 2 or a 3, but right now it's a 2. Here's Dickinson, reigning Big Ten Player of the Week. And Rob, he's so good passing out of the post.
He's got 10 assists over the last 2 games. That ball is moving, and they're throwing it inside. DeVante Jones now driving the closeout, getting to the painted area. DeVante Jones is flying under the radar, but having a pretty good year. He's really figured it out here. Once he's gotten into Big Ten play, it's been a pretty good DeVante Jones.
Yeah, he's the grad transfer from Coastal Carolina. Inside Nance, good feed from Boo Buie, who's tied for the league lead in assists.
That's that roll and replace action. You're putting DeVante Jones in a really tough spot. He's got to get back out to chase Audige, but if you're not in with the roll guy, you're going to give up a layup.
Once again, there's great interior passing, but a block from behind. Good swat by Julian Roper.
Chris Collins he is trying to get Northwestern up the floor. It's not like the pace they're playing with right now.
Looking at the tempo numbers for these 2 teams, Rob, Michigan 301, Northwestern 179 as Barron hits the mid-range jumper.
Nice cut right there. Robbie Barron being guarded by the bigger Hunter Dickinson. Dickinson not totally used to guarding a smaller player like that at all times on the perimeter. If you look at Barron's game last year, his highest scoring output in Big Ten play was here in this building with Hunter Dickinson guarding him for a lot of the game.
Yeah, he had 14, although Michigan would win that. They've won 9 straight here at the Chrysler Center against Northwestern. Good kick to the corner. And this kid is feeling it. The talented freshman, 2 early jumpers to go.
You can see that post trap's coming, but these passes are lasers. You have got to be able to pressure and give Hunter Dickinson something to think about. That's the matchup to watch, though. Robbie Barron's going to have to be aggressive tonight. Steps right in the top of the key and drills it.
Good early action. Gosh, I don't think we've had a single whistle here through almost 4 minutes of play. Back into Dickinson. Here comes the double.
And that's a missile across the floor.
And look at that. In and out, though. Great look.
He's just passing right over the top of the double teams. He did it in Bloomington. He did it against Maryland. He's an excellent passer.
So do you have to throw different looks at him?
I think you do. I think you go off the dribble sometimes. You dig sometimes. But Robbie Barron right now is going to give him problems in the cover. He's getting some good looks. Good contest, though, at the rim.
Chris Collins really wanted a foul, animated again on the sidelines as Barron tried to take it to the hoop.
You have guards that are aggressive like Chase Audige, Boo Buie. Pete Nance going to get in there and mix things up. You certainly have a point. And they do take, Boo Buie, Chase Audige are going to take their fair share of jump shots, but I think Chris Collins feels like they need to get more whistles as well.
Ryan Young comes into the game, but Dickinson too much there on the hook shot.
Chris Collins wants these guys to push, and here credit Michigan for showing some pressure, keeping them from getting that ball at the floor, but Northwestern has got to be more aware.
Here is Young. He had that big game at Michigan State in that upset win, and he goes to the left hand. A good start there.
It was really well done. Hunter Dickinson taking away the middle, and Ryan Young takes you middle, just rolls on him, gets back to that left hand. Young is a crafty scorer. He's got big-time footwork. He can really score the ball in that post.
He's efficient. He's 8th on the team in minutes, but 4th in points. But this is a tough matchup for him. Missed shot, and then a foul on the rebound, though, is going against Northwestern. I think things have turned out okay for him.
You know, it's amazing when you have a guy that's as talented as Caleb Houston. It can flip on a dime. And he was really struggling. You look at his numbers, he was 2 of 21 during a certain stretch. But when you're a shooter and your main job is to be out here making shots and you're not, it can mess with your psyche. There's no doubt about that. Who's the best team in the league right now?
You tell me.
No, it's an impossible question to answer. Every time you think a team kind of rises to the top, they take a loss. You could say it was Wisconsin. Well, Michigan State goes in and beats them pretty handily. You could say it's Purdue. They go to Indiana. There's no shame in losing there. It's a tough place.
Penn State, by the way, beat Indiana in State College a couple of weeks ago. Bowie missing the runner. Rebound comes down to DeVante. But Michigan trying to find what people thought they would be preseason, ranked 6th in the country. And now with the last 2 wins back at home, inside, strong take, DeVante for 2.
I think he's really starting to find how to play to his strengths. Face you up, drive you. That was a great move by Moussa DeVante, operating on the baseline. His effort at Indiana really stood out. Getting on the floor, making plays on the defensive end of the court. Just really well done. He's becoming a really nice piece for Juwan Howard.
Double figures 4 of his last 5 as Bowie lines up and misses a 3. And DeVante grabs a rebound.
He's also been a force on the offensive glass. 2nd in Big Ten play and 3 a game.
As part of that incredibly talented top 10 freshman class that Juwan Howard brought in, but there he misses the 15-footer. 3 McDonald's All-Americans, so it is a wealth of talent, that's for sure.
DeVante Jones into that ball. He's not giving Bowie any space to operate.
Barry got up in the air, dumps it into Young. Young getting to that left shoulder, missed it, but he'll have 2 at the line. And everywhere he went, they realized what potential. Ryan Young, the redshirt junior, knocks down both. Northwestern back within 1 here. Here's Frankie Collins, another freshman off the bench, backup guard, feeding Dickinson, and Dickinson, when he gets it in that area, he's just so tough to stop.
That's the right hand, too. I mean, think about the improvements he's made. He's added the right hook. He's added a jumper. He's not turning it over as much. He is having just an awesome season here at Michigan.
Ty Berry. Berry's a 3. They're going to look at it to see if his foot was on the line. For the moment, we're tied.
It's a big shot for Ty Berry. Just 1 of his last 13 from the 3-point line. Only 8 points the last 4 games. He's had a nice year shooting the ball, over 40% on the season, but they need him to make shots and spread that floor out for these guards.
Well, before that stretch, Rob, he had that big 23-point game at Ohio State. Good take there by Caleb Houston.
He looks like a different player. It's amazing the medicine that making shots can be for a guy's game. You start making them, now guys start closing out to you differently. You can drive the ball. It's like a different player.
As we said, the reigning Big Ten freshman of the week, 16 against Maryland, 19 against Indiana, but Young has the answer, and we're going back and forth right now in Ann Arbor.
Just a simple pick and pop action. Ryan Young took his first 3 on Sunday at Purdue. That's his first made 3 of the year. It's one of those deals where I'm sure on the scouting report, it might say Ryan Young shoots to 15 feet, but it's not going to say he's pulling from 3.
We talked about he only attempted a couple last year. Trying to stretch the defense. There's a push.
Second scoring in Big Ten play at over 21 a game. He's been good in so many different ways.
Last year, Big Ten Freshman of the Year, now in his sophomore campaign, and they get it to him again, and just backing down and putting it up with a left this time.
He's got the right hand, but that's still his go-to bread and butter, is to get back to his left, and that's a really tough guard. Elijah Williams at 6'7", having to check a guy at 7'1".
Michigan already with 10 points in the paint. Bad pass by Nance, but luckily it found Barry. However, a travel top 10 in the country.
I am fascinated to see what Terrence Williams looks like tonight. I mean, coming off the game in Indiana, where he gives you 10. Here's the move from Brandon Johns, who has looked like a more aggressive player coming out of that Indiana game. But Terrence Williams, the 10 points, the way he played into the first half, when Indiana was making their run, he made big-time shots. He guarded. His effort and energy was really the difference in keeping that lead for Michigan.
Yeah, he's a sophomore as the whistle inside another foul here.
Saved the day there.
He had that huge game early December against Nebraska, and then he just went silent.
He was great first game of the year against Buffalo here, too.
Good pass. Nance, easy lay-in on the feed from Audige.
Nice read there by Pete Nance. Brandon Johns showing a little bit too early. Nance felt it, slipped right to the basket.
So halfway through the first half, and Michigan holding on to a 1-point lead. Frankie Collins inside. Johns utilizing the shot fake, going up, missed it. Rebound, Barry grabs it. Michigan 60% from the floor. Northwestern not far behind at 58%. Barry trying to raise that. That's his shot, but a little much.
Nice play by Boo Boo to get to the middle of the floor. Frankie Collins, I think, was trying to down that side ball.
I don't know that he gets enough credit for what he does.
He absolutely does not in that regard. That's going to be a moving screen.
He's the only Northwestern player since 92-93, besides Bryant McIntosh, who's now the assistant Dobo, to average 13 points and 5 assists. Pretty impressive company, and there's a foul. Now, 2 early fouls in just a few minutes for Frankie Collins, so he goes back to the bench. Audige. Barron collects and lost it. Jones leads the charge. Bufkin up and in.
What a finish. I mean, Kobe Bufkin running that floor. Robbie Barron at 6'9" is coming to put that on the glass. Bufkin just gets subbed into the game and makes an impact immediately.
Bufkin, who had not scored the last 2, gives him 15 minutes a game off the bench. Now here's Nance, little mismatch, but he couldn't get it to go. Grand Rapids, Michigan. And as I said, his first bucket in the last 3 Michigan games. Now Bowie wraps it around, a little too hot to handle for Young. For Michigan, that win against Indiana, by the way, was their first quad 1 win this year for a team, again, that had such high expectations coming into the season. Looking for win number 10 tonight. Johns fading with a right hand, missed it.
Very interesting lineup on the floor for Michigan in terms of scoring.
Yeah.
You look out there, and these passes, there's no air under them. I mean, they are rockets, and if that's the case, it's almost impossible to rotate out. You just don't have time. As a post trapper, you have got to find a way to make him uncomfortable and make him throw a pass where there's some air underneath that ball.
Right now he's on the bench, and Juwan Howard is sticking with this unusual lineup with Jaron Faulds out there. Manning this inside.
It's going to have to be DeVante Jones as a playmaker here.
Jones with the basketball now, 8 points, 4 assists a game as a point guard. Getting downhill and kicking it out. Extra pass, Johns. And they'll reverse course to Bufkin with 5 to shoot. Kobe Bufkin, great drop off. Jones, though, had it stripped. Nance brings it in the front court. We'll see how long Juwan Howard sticks with this lineup.
Just seemed like Kobe Bufkin didn't want to shoot it. Brandon Johns didn't want to shoot it and get something going to the rim, but good hands by Northwestern. Knocked that ball away.
Meanwhile, Young spinning, and he traveled. Eli Brooks getting tripped.
Now, with that being said, you look at 5 of the last 6 games, he's taken 2 threes or less. They've got to find him some open catch and shoot opportunities. Juwan Howard going to roll the dice, go 2-3 to protect the big fella.
Interesting. And now he's defending here as Roper drives in and misses it, knocked out.
You give up a basket, it's not the end of the world. He gets his 3rd foul. That would be a huge deal. That could be right there. They're going to call a block, though.
Instead, now Bowie has 2, and he takes a seat. Still have 6.5 minutes on the clock. Another foul, this one on Roper. But the first 4.5 minutes, Rob, we didn't have a single whistle. It was so free-flowing, and now things have changed.
It flipped on us.
Northwestern hasn't had a field goal in almost 4 minutes.
If you're Northwestern with this 2-3 zone, you have got to play through the middle of the floor. I would love to see Pete Nance be a guy that flashes in there and make plays.
Right now it's Young. Here is Nance, 2 of 4 tonight. Only took 3 shots in the loss at Purdue. He needs some help, and it's taken away by Houston. And then Nance, on way to a Sun Belt Player of the Year nod in his final season at Coastal Carolina.
It's kind of like Jamari Wheeler going from Penn State to Ohio State, where the scheme just totally changes on you, and you've got to find a way to fit in. But Michigan's going 2-3, and then they're matching up. This is now man-to-man.
Greer bumping into Williams, no whistle. Drive and kick, Nance in the corner. Rebound to Dickinson.
Nice pass. Ryan Greer fired that across the floor. Pete Nance getting a good look, but can't get it to go.
So both teams have cooled off a little bit. Northwestern now under 45%. Here's Houston. Here's Brooks. Talked about him maybe needing to get some shots off.
I'd like to see him shoot that. He's been a little gun shy here from the three-point line.
Dickinson, and Young grabs it. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Eli Brooks still has not attempted a shot. He's been on the floor 13 minutes. Nance will take it, mid-range. Well, if you lay off him, he can knock that down all day.
Well, Hunter Dickinson doesn't want to foul.
Yeah.
And he got matched up with Pete Nance there. They start in that 2-3. They match up as the offense matriculates. And Pete Nance, he had plenty of space, faced up, and just let it fly.
Here is Brooks, first shot of the night, and it goes.
He needs to shoot open shots. That's a roll and replace. Hunter Dickinson is going to draw a ton of attention rolling to the rim. It's a great position to be in as a shooter, because you know as you're rising, that defense has got to be in initially.
Eli Brooks playing his 142nd game, 4 off the Michigan record. Crafty move. Sometimes I don't know how Ryan Young does it in there.
You know, a lot of the time, and this basket falls into this category. He doesn't go over the top of you. He goes almost around under the big's armpit. He is very crafty with his arm angles of getting that thing to the backboard.
And he's already in double figures with 10. He's looking like he did in the win at Michigan State. Long rebound comes to Nance. Northwestern hanging tough here. Again, they've been on this really hard stretch. 3 top 10 teams now playing Michigan. Then they'll face Illinois next on Saturday. And a bump and a foul on Williams. And he had 18 and 8 in that game. A lot of it coming in the second half in crunch time. And I mentioned it, but that's when Pete Nance was absent in that game with injury. And nobody was giving Northwestern a chance on the road. Now they're trying to win again in Michigan here, but Young not helping the cause, missing the front end. Brooks, great drop off. Oh, Johns missed it, although they say he got hit on the arm.
The biggest thing that I thought Brandon Johns did in that Indiana game was on the initial 3, he caught it, didn't think about it for a second, and just let it fly. At times, it seems like when he thinks about stuff, he can get in his own head, but there's too many good performances that we've seen from him. NCAA tournament last year, the Florida State game sticks out in particular, but he's done it against really good people.
It's the last 2 years when Livers went out and he had to have bigger minutes. He really provided a good spark. Here he is, trying to drive it. Ooh, he kicked it off the foot of Berry.
It's just a tough place to drive the ball. Ty Berry in perfect help side position just takes his ball.
Ryan Greer almost traveled. Inside Nance, he's got a good matchup. There's a mouse in the house. But Nance cannot take advantage.
You on the terminology. They say that about you when they're playing pickup back in Evansville?
I was going to say, I'm 5'10", so I don't feel that bad. Eli's 6'1".
You've heard that before, huh?
Here's Brooks, hit the three a moment ago. Now to the elbow, being aggressive off the heel. Inside of 2 minutes left in the first half. Northwestern's gone through a couple of mini scoring droughts. It is surprising to see only one shot next on Deej. It's rare that he finds a shot attempt he doesn't like.
I mean, their backcourt is combined to go 0 for 3 tonight. And you look at the scoreboard right now, and they're down 4. This team to be successful, you look at Northwestern and the makeup of what they've got, it's going to be Pete Nance, Chase Audige, Boo Buie. And there's complementary pieces around that. Ryan Young can score, Ty Berry can make shots. But for them to beat good people, and I do consider Michigan, with the way they've played over the last 2 games, a good team. You're going to have to get your best players playing better.
Bowie's been on the bench the last 4 minutes with 2 fouls. Dickinson still on the bench with 2 for Michigan as well. Jones finds a lane. Good scoop and score.
It's all about the change of pace right there. I mean, he just freezes Ryan Greer. Pete Nance thinks Greer's getting back underneath the ball, and it just never got there.
And there's Barron. He's only played in 7 games all season. Number 25 for the Wolverines.
You know what you're going to get when Jace Howard's on the floor. He is going to compete and play hard at the highest level.
His brother Jet will be here next year. He's a top 50 recruit, a senior right now at IMG Academy in Florida.
What it's like, and he's got a lot of experience with Phil Martelli on staff. He coached his son. But from a player's perspective, I think back, and man, there was times where I was like, I don't really like my college coach right now, but if it's your dad, it's just a hard dynamic.
Yeah.
Your college coach is there to make you better and push you.
Here he is defending Nance. This is a tough cover. Nance has the 3-inch height advantage, but he misses it. So Michigan holding the 4-point lead here. 8-second difference shot in game clock. DeVante Jones, backdoor pass. Houston, though, got blocked. They say a foul on Audige, though.
Whatever happens, you cannot get an offensive foul. Got to play off 2 feet.
Good first half for the freshman Houston. He now has a dozen. The lead is 5. And Bowie's going to sprint up and call a timeout.
Basketball and even into the NBA ranks. I mean, there's a ton of guys that have come out of Toronto.
Northwestern is going to get the final shot here. Boo Buie drives, stops on a dime, and lays it up and in. And Brooks will heave it, but it's short.
You can move him. You're an active cutter. He is just not used to seeing that out on the perimeter. It's a different deal than banging down in the post.
Here is Dickinson handing it off to Brooks. Eli Brooks in that first half, just 2 shots, 1 of 2. We talked about that. Houston had a great first half, but he misses a good look there.
He got a really good look. That was a great hook pass. Hunter Dickinson taking that double team, and like we've said for the last 3 games, just fired a rocket across the floor.
He said his passing out of the post really started to develop in his days at DeMatha High School, because he just got double teamed, sometimes triple teamed in high school.
He played for a great high school coach as well, Mike Jones. He really knew what he was doing. That's a good sign for Northwestern, and Boo Buie driving the ball, getting to the rim. He needs to be an aggressive form of himself, scoring it.
Bowie finished the first half with a bucket.
If he had not done that, it'd be 2 going the other way.
But he did, and it was a kick save and a beauty. Ooh, a little Euro step. Jones missed it, put back, and a foul. Collins, who is 3-11 against Michigan in his 9 seasons, has yet to beat Juwan Howard, 0-3, including the loss we discussed last year here. Audige talked about him being more aggressive, right on cue, Rob.
I like the action. You come off the handoff. We were talking at halftime, wondering if Chase Audige actually is a little bit dinged up. Sprained his ankle Sunday in West Lafayette. He's wearing a brace on that right ankle, and good to see him get it going.
He did come back in that game as Brooks hits his second three. But when Audige returned, he was not 100%. And now Brooks with a steal. What a sequence! And he does just that. Largest lead of the game now for Michigan at 7. And here comes the crowd. Bowie. Audige putting it up off the glass. Tell you what, that right ankle looks pretty good right now.
That is tough because DeVante Jones is bodying him up, going vertical, and that's just Chase Audige with a physical take. I mean, end of the day, it's going to be a foul every time.
It's going to need some increased minutes as Houston hits a three. He now has 15 tonight. Here's Elijah Williams taking it to the rim. He's getting more minutes, and now he bumps right over DeVante Jones and picks up the foul. Talked about Jones, Rob. First 8 games, not so great. A lot of Michigan fans were saying, should they take him out of the lineup? He's been really good the last 8.
He really has. And here he is setting the table again for a guy that they need to find open shots for. But you're totally right. Start of the year, you're just asking him to score it at a high level. Know the scouting report in and out. Be an elite defensive player. Lead the team. I remember hearing a quote, figure things out. DeVante Jones settles into his role. And this is a team that is really growing and evolving and learning their roles and learning each other. You know, it's a young team. It's a lot of guys who have played some college basketball mixed in with some freshmen, with some transfers. It's a very fluid situation and one that's changing very rapidly.
Well, after the Indiana game, Hunter Dickinson summed it up well. He said, I think we're becoming the team that people thought we were going to be at the beginning of the season. Remember, they also had the COVID issues the last month. Brooks, who had been hot, misses there. But they had from December 11th to January 4th, they were 1-4, and they had 3 games postponed due to COVID. They had all kinds of issues, but rounding into form right now. Meanwhile, Northwestern facing their largest deficit here of the night at 48-38. Audige on the step back, and he missed it, but Williams able to secure the offensive board.
Michigan is really going under on Audige. They are daring him to take shots from the perimeter.
It's like Michigan has ramped things up defensively here. Nance tries to curl it around. Barry with a finish.
That's Ty Barry right there, using Pete Nance, who's the passer, as a screener as well. I mean, he runs right off him and saws it off to the rim. It's good action by Northwestern.
So Ty Barry, the sophomore from Newton, Kansas. He now has 5, his second bucket of the night. Get him back within 8. Eli Brooks, and that one kicked out of bounds. There have been some incredible games all throughout, and we're only in mid-January here, toward late January. There's a foul against Audige. It's his second. Juwan Howard, they've got their rival. They'll be on the road, up the road at East Lansing on Saturday. Tell you what, now you're looking far in the future, and they haven't won here tonight. You win tonight, you win that one. Boy, then you're really talking about Michigan being back into form.
They've looked different, though. I mean, I think in watching those 2 games, the level of intensity they played with on the defensive end, the way that this dude's playing, Caleb Houston's improvement that we've seen over the last couple games.
DeVante Jones, another guy coming along as he takes it down the lane for 2.
You can't leave him out of that conversation either, because he has come a long way from the start of the season. He is running the show for this team and doing a heck of a job of that.
Yeah, last 8 for Jones, 34 assists and 10 turnovers.
You have to look, Mike Smith was playing with 3 NBA players too, and Hunter Dickinson. So as this team has evolved, I just thought that was a really cool tweet.
But to put a bow on that for Jones, the first 8 games when he was struggling, 28 assists to 20 turnovers. He said, look, the transition from Coastal Carolina was an adjustment, and he says he really feels like the game has slowed down for him in the last month.
It wasn't just turnovers. Fouls were an issue, too. He was fouling a ton.
Bowie, 3-pointers. So Bowie and Audige, Robbie, you said they needed to start to get more involved, and they have.
They are right back in this game. Just a 6-point lead. Bowie, when he comes off the ball screen, you've got to understand, he is coming off to let that thing go.
Bowie now is 7, 3 of 5 from the floor. Dangerous pass. Jones turns it over.
We should have never mentioned that tweet.
Yeah, right?
It's been downhill from there.
And Audige with a left hand, and it's back down to 4.
The transition defense for Michigan, not good enough. You don't find Chase Audige. He leaks into that trailer spot and just drives it to the basket.
6-0 spurt for the Cats. Now where does Michigan find the answer? Houston. Dickinson. Remember, 6 points, but all of them came in the first 8 minutes of this game. Great pass. Offensive foul on DeVante. Audige. And he missed it. Well, sometimes his shot selection is questioned by Chris Collins. Not sure how he felt about that one.
16 on the shot clock. I just feel like you can get that whenever you want.
Houston utilizing the shot fake. Tries to drop it off. How about the active hands by Barry?
Ty Barry with the closeout initially and then gets back in the play. That was a big-time effort by Ty Barry defensively.
Talked a lot about his shooting, but his defense has gotten better this year as a sophomore. And at times, that was really an issue for him a season ago and trying to stay on the floor. Here he is from 3 feet behind the arc, but he missed it. Michigan, though, 4 turnovers in the last 2 minutes. Dickinson, great positioning, and Audige came over. Really brings a great element to their locker room. Dickinson misses the free throw. Credit Northwestern, you know, when Michigan got up double digits, this place was rocking, thought they might stretch it out. Good response by the Cats.
Outside of the Purdue game, and it was close for a long time. Bowie made those 3 threes in a row, and I'm going to say he cut it to 6 or 7 with probably 6 to play.
Yep.
I mean, they have been in every Big Ten game they've played. The record's 2-6, but not sure that's representative of how well they've played.
They really felt like that Michigan State win. They got the monkey off their back a little bit because they'd had so many close losses. Finally, they won a close one, and in grand fashion. Roper taking it to the rim.
I like Julian Roper. I mean, he will guard you. You can get to the basket, you can get on the offensive glass. It's a big guard and a physical one, getting to come home, getting to the rack.
And it gives his friends and family something to cheer about, his first bucket. And he went to Orchard Lake St. Mary's in Detroit. Down the road, and there's a foul on Michigan. Adjacent to the Chrysler Center here, where Northwestern has not won in the last 9 tries. Last win here, January of 2010. Young catching it on the post, going to work against Dickinson. Shoots it over him, but he missed it.
Well done by Hunter Dickinson staying down. Ryan Young doing everything he could right there to get back to his strong right hand. Dickinson holding in there and just getting a good contest.
Michigan doesn't have a field goal in the last 4 minutes. Rob Dickinson still with just 7 points. Just as I say that, he misses the mid-range. Has Northwestern done anything to limit him, or has Michigan just not looked for him?
They've stopped doubling, and it's been more one-on-one type actions here in the second half. And credit Ryan Young, Pete Nance as well for guarding him and doing a good job.
Take a look at Young's ankle. He's untying his shoe right now. Discussed how key he is to Northwestern. Had a good first half.
Good cut by Eli Brooks.
And a great pass by Brooks, but the 3 off the mark by Collins. Northwestern with an opportunity to pull within one or tie. Bowie dancing around with it.
Cleared out the whole side for him.
Well, he's got the taller Hunter Dickinson on him. He's going to drive and dish. This would tie it. Greer, yes, 51 apiece.
Ryan Greer, 2 points his last 2 games, but that's all set up by Bowie. He gets the mismatch with Hunter Dickinson on the perimeter, doesn't force anything, gets into the painted area, and drives and dishes.
11-1 run right now.
I feel like in past years, Bowie gets that mismatch. He's trying to jack a 3, and he was thinking, I'm getting to the paint.
Driving, speaking of getting to the paint, Frankie Collins.
He's got some serious burst. When you get him out in space, he made a play in the Maryland game athletically where he went up and got a lob, but right there, he's showing you the speed.
First bucket tonight for Collins. There is Bowie taking a 3, but he's short. And Williams down the lane. Bowie almost traveled. He did travel.
It's amazing to me some of the consistency issues that Terrence Williams has. You watch the Buffalo game, you're like, this dude's going to have a heck of a year. You watch the Nebraska game, or even in the Indiana game, it doesn't make sense how from game to game, there's just no carryover.
Yeah, they're going to beat him as this season goes, Rob. There's no question. Free throws the rest of the way for both teams. Dickinson dropping it off for Brooks. Oh, Brooks missed the reverse. Now Nance is fouled. Could it happen tonight?
I will say, Chris Collins Ball Club has played some pretty good basketball in the state of Michigan this year. Win or lose tonight, they've done some really positive things.
The stretch that they've been on is their most daunting of the season. So Dickinson's been quiet. There he gets his first field goal of the second half.
Frankie Collins is really impacting this game with his ability to get dribble penetration. He's driving that baseline, but doing it under control, flipping it back to Hunter Dickinson.
That freshman backup point guard, he gives him about 13 minutes a game, number 10 in white. Bowie uses the ball screen. And high pass, but Roper grabs it. Back to Bowie. Shot clock. And 1. Greer gets it off, and he got it. And Northwestern, 7 of 19 coming in. He just rarely shoots. He's a senior that just sort of blends in. You don't talk about him much, but a big role tonight.
A guy that's going to make the right play. Runs the show as the point guard. Really a low mistake type player, but boy, has he had an impact tonight.
So now Michigan working from behind as we are inside of 8 minutes here.
They got to get the ball into Hunter Dickinson. It's Elijah Williams guarding him. He's made it tough, but
going to work against Williams.
Great defense.
And then Nance flies in for the rebound. And Hunter Dickinson picked up the foul.
He was having to fight so much to just stay competitive on the defensive end of the floor that he had to foul. With Zach Edey, Trevion Williams, that's a tough guard. So credit Chris Collins for going a different direction here tonight against another quality big in this league.
Nance 7 of 8 at the line here in this game. There's a foul and a hold against Audige.
Chase Audige is locking and trailing, and he's just holding Eli Brooks the whole way.
And Williams misses the front end, so neither side taking advantage at the line. Largest Northwestern lead is 3. They've got it right now. Michigan has led for almost all of this contest.
That's that Spain action they love to run for Caleb Houston, setting that back screen out. No Hunter Dickinson. Somebody's going to have to step up here and make a play late clock.
Jones 2 to shoot, out to Houston. Back to Jones. He's not going to get it off.
Shoot the ball.
Here's Bowie downhill with a head of steam. What a finish for Bowie.
He got right to the chest of Moussa Diabate, though. He's driving that ball, and he almost slow plays it right through the chest of Diabate. And when you do that, you're just taking the shot blocker completely out of the play.
And in the last 11 minutes, Northwestern's gone from down 11 to up 5.
Turnovers have just racked up for Michigan.
Now 8 here in the second half. Here's Bowie again. Driving inside, Roper. Roper, good look, couldn't get it. Crowd getting antsy. Michigan hasn't scored in 2.5 minutes. Here's DeVante. Backing down Nance, freshman against senior. Barron came over to help. Good defense by Robbie Barron.
Without Hunter Dickinson on the floor, this looks a little bit like a rudderless ship. Like these Michigan guys are looking around, and it just doesn't look like anyone is really confident in making a play at this point.
I think Juwan Howard's just hoping to make it to the under 4 media before he brings it back.
I think you probably have to.
7-0 run. Northwestern trying to add to it. Nance, dangerous pass, but it got in there.
What a catch.
And make it a 9-0 run. That was a good catch by Barron.
That is a heck of a play.
Big man, 9 points, 4 rebounds. Again, he's playing with 4 fouls. Brooks uses the pivot, kicks it out to Bufkin, and gets it right back.
Pretty good by Ryan Greer, locking and trailing.
Now inside, DeVante is fouled by Elijah Williams. DeVante, 62% at the line. Memphis gets a boat. So they get free throws. Michigan still doesn't have a field goal in the last 4 minutes. Boo-boo, he loses his footing, but he gets the basketball back. He needs some help. Off to Nance. Shot clock at 5.
He's going to find a way to be productive, whether it's for himself or for somebody else.
Watch the shot clock here. Just 6 to shoot. Pete Nance, they clear out the side for him. He goes to work, but it's short on the mid-range.
Sure, Chris Collins, you'll take that. He got to his spot, elevated, got a good look. Came up a bit short, but you get a quality shot there on a low clock situation.
Northwestern 3 in double figures. They've been balanced. Extra pass in the corner. There's the 3 by DeVante Jones.
I love what Juwan Howard did. It wasn't a traditional post-up. They used the ball screen. The short roll is there. You make Dickinson a playmaker, and DeVante Jones, who struggled the last 8 minutes, making a big-time shot.
Now Nance kicked it off his own foot. He also bumped knees with DeVante. Just like that, Michigan with a chance to take the lead or tie.
Well, Nance trying to go quickly here, ripping through and driving the ball. Moussa Diabate moving his feet, and the freshman coming up big on that end of the floor.
A little bit of pain after bumping knees, but Nance stays out there. Down inside, Dickinson, extra pass and beauty on the slam for Diabate, and we're tied.
Pete Nance fell down, and credit Dickinson for reading the floor and finding a wide open Moussa Diabate.
Here's Greer, he's hit a couple big threes tonight. Driving, floater, no. Bodies hit the deck, and Diabate picks it up. 7-0 run for Michigan here in the last 2 minutes. Brooks. The roof is ready to go off of the Chrysler Center if they can score, but just as I say that, they turn it over for the 13th time tonight.
Northwestern basketball.
Remember, both of these teams in foul trouble, double bonus. You got Michigan, Dickinson, and Diabate with 4. Northwestern, they've got foul issues of their own. Barron and Audige each 1 away from fouling out. Here is Audige. Now down to Young. Young quiet in the second half. Pounding with Dickinson, and there is a foul, and that is 5, who had 25 and 9 against against Indiana, 21-6 against Maryland, and now he has to watch the rest from that seat over there on the sideline. And Ryan Young, who has 11 points, makes it 12, and Northwestern back up a pair. Dickinson, his first foul out of the season.
The question for Michigan is now, without Hunter Dickinson on the floor, who's going to be the playmaker? I mean, Eli Brooks, maybe DeVante Jones has struggled here in the second half for a lot of it. They've just looked totally lost without him on the court.
Remember, Brooks had that personal little 9-0 run earlier, but he's been quiet since. He does have 12 points. This time it's Williams. Terrence Williams with a big three. Nance hesitates and gets fouled. Nance, 78% shooter, but he missed it.
He missed a big one into that Maryland game in regulation as well.
And then they would lose that in double overtime. He was sensational in that game, though. He had 28 and 14. Tonight for Nance. And he hits it. Pete Nance, Michigan. He had many offers out of high school in Akron, Ohio, and Michigan was one of them. John Beilein offered him a scholarship. He decided to go to Northwestern instead. In the corner, Houston, high arcing three. Bowie races up ahead. Michigan by 3, 90 seconds to go, and what's turning out to be a thriller here at the Chrysler Center.
How about Jaron Falls coming off the bench cold and making one of the biggest passes of the game?
And now he's playing defense against Young, and good defense it is.
Oh, terrific minutes. I mean, you come in, you wait your turn, you're ready to go, you get an assist, you get a stop. That is elite by Falls.
Third-year Columbia transfer from Holt, Michigan. Falls. Big minutes here down the stretch. 1 to play. Jones with a full head of steam, and he's fouled.
The big assist, Terrence Williams makes a big shot. And then how about Falls? I mean, to come in this moment, a guy that has given them some good minutes through their COVID stretch, but man, I mean, you're talking about winning you a game here. That's big time.
Made a great point on that pass that set up the three, and now Jones pushes it to 5. So where does Chris Collins go here, Rob?
I think it's going to be Boo Bowie just making a play.
Here he is, and he does try it from 3, and he knocks it down. Boo Bowie, ice water in his veins.
Does not need much space. He's coming off the ball screen to shoot threes. He's so comfortable doing it. If you don't impact him, he can torch you.
20 to shoot, 42 to play, so no reason for Northwestern to foul. Double bonus both ways. Michigan 2 timeouts, Northwestern 1. Jones is going to get this started. Down the lane, rejected, but a foul. 13 points. He's made all 4 of his free throws, and now all 5. Now this is the big one to make it a 2-possession game.
It's surprising to see that he's just 66% on the year. His 3 years at Coastal Carolina, 85% from the line.
Yeah, it's been a different story. Hasn't shot a ton of them this year. Still below 30 attempts. And that one goes. 2-possession game indeed.
If you're Boo Bowie, it's the same deal.
He gives it up to Greer. Ryan Greer bounces it off to Young. Young with a left hand. He got fouled, they're going to say, by Falls. Ryan Young missed it. Nance tapped it out, and Bowie has the rebound. Northwestern, a 3 to tie. Chris Collins is going to take a timeout. Bowie in the corner to Nance. They want to get it back to Bowie, and they do. Wait, before the shot, we've got a whistle and a foul. 8 of 10 tonight at the line, and he missed it. He missed them both. And he missed the first. Missed them both. Northwestern has a shot. Will they foul Bowie before he gets it off?
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Oh, boy.
Boy, I mean, it's a hard foul, but he's trying to. Oh, I think
Bowie sold it.
Yeah, actually, it looked a lot worse from where we were at. But yeah, Bowie. Good job by Rob Riley of seeing that.
So now Bowie, an 80% shooter, has not attempted a free throw tonight. He got it. You don't miss this one, do you, Rob?
Boy, you might think about it.
You have no timeouts.
No timeouts. I think he's going to make it, but if he did, I don't think it would be an awful decision.
He does try to make it, but he misses it. Nance tracks it down. Oh, my goodness. The three is short. And Michigan escapes. The Cats had an opportunity at the buzzer.